Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/citizenho. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Hello there.
Hola.
And welcome to our first Canadian podcast.
It's not Canadian.
Oh,
just
Canada.
Bronxian.
Our home and native
I just found
land.
something sitting on my table that I thought was had disappeared.
What is it?
This is the parts of that train car that I was talking about earlier.
So, yeah, we are in, now I've complained about Kevin living in a shithole before. I think today actually sums it up.
Yes, but now I have a legitimate excuse. I freshly moved into an apartment from which we are still unpacking.
Laziness is a legitimate excuse.
No, before it was half laziness, half just really small space.
Dude,
now,
your table had you guys didn't throw shit out in your old place.
Yeah.
You have to find a new vice for me.
We'll see.
So,
I'd like to try and keep this new place, semi-neat.
How does it feel to be seeing the what's the word I'm looking for? The completion of this arduous project.
Oh, hell, I'm just happy to freaking finally be here.
You know what? I realized,
it's been a long road.
We met Kevin's neighbors earlier, who happened to be nicest people. I didn't really get to drive, but they seemed really nice. And they said the people who lived here before weren't really nice. And with the experience you had with them, when they took it off the market and put it back on, it doesn't seem that surprising, come to think of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. Then that was my comment to them when she mentioned that they weren't that mess. I said, yeah, some of the negotiations when we were trying to buy this place were a little tough.
Did she laugh?
No, I mean, she didn't really ask for details, but they were just like, oh, yeah.
Lashon Hara.
Huh?
Lashon Hara.
Oh.
For those non-Jews, it's, I think it literally means evil tongue. Or
Ooh.
bad. It's gossip.
Shame. Yes, because Jewish people never gossip. No.
I've never met my mother or your mother-in-law.
Yeah, precisely. Hell, even my mother gossips. She's not quite as bad as others, but she still has her moments.
There was your wife calling people in Max's new daycare smoky. She spends way too much time around senior citizens.
Yeah, she does, but nonetheless, it's I thought you're not really supposed to use that term anymore.
They shouldn't say there was a little Oriental boy.
No, her mother will call them Oriental.
Her mother or her grandmother?
Both of them.
Oh, everyone's a little bit racist sometimes.
Yeah, so says the Gospel of Avenue Q.
That was a great show.
It was. I feel like it's still touring or something.
Well, it's off Broadway now.
Oh, it went back off Broadway?
It's in the theater on 50th Street, right by the...
New World Stages, I think it's called. That's where they are now?
It's right by the Churrascaria.
Yeah. Plataforma. Meat on a sword. Yes, it's expensive, but for the occasional experience of being brought
we actually found a better one in Jersey.
What?
It's cheaper. Churrascaria.
Yeah, okay. You haven't taken me there yet?
No.
What the hell's the matter with you?
Next time you come, I'll take you there.
Where is this place?
Bloomfield?
Okay.
Not Bloomfield. Belleville.
What is it? Is it like a local place or is it some chain?
No, it's a local place.
Okay.
It's in this awful area. You would think you're going to die going there, and there's this packed restaurant.
Okay, then. So kind of like going to Spiritos.
Or Dinosaur.
No, Dinosaur isn't that bad where it is.
We haven't been to Spiritos in ages.
Somehow I doubt they've renovated the place.
No, I can't remember the last time we were there, honestly. Marissa went once not too long ago with a friend, and I wasn't with her.
Okay. Did she say anything was any different?
No. For those who don't know what we're talking about, it's this little Italian... Well, it's not that little. It's this Italian pizza place in Elizabeth, New Jersey. It's dark, dank, and dirty, but the food is awesome and dirt cheap.
And completely outdated, and the waitresses are one step short of having the tracheotomies. And,
they're the female version of Sam from today's special.
No, more like the traditional 30-year smoker who basically has almost no voice box left. So just imagine this, and
it's Nina Blackwood on Sirius 8,
an older woman in her 60s or 70s, kind of stringy blonde hair, pretty craggly. Hello. My name's Doris. I'll be your server. What do you want?
It's Large Marge.
Almost.
Tell him Large Marge sent you.
However, yes, the food there was pretty good. Traditional hole-in-the-wall place.
And it's pretty cheap.
In a hole-in-the-wall neighborhood.
I only take you to the finest institutions.
Yeah, there was that other Italian place and a former diner and that kind of sketchy town on the Jersey Shore.
Oh, Vic's?
Is that what it was?
Yeah. What about the Mediterranean restaurant in Lambertville we took you to, where we waited an hour?
No, yeah, but okay, that's not a sketchy hole-in-the-wall place.
That place was damn good, though.
It is pretty good. I've been there twice now.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like one of our favorite places.
Oy, needless to say, a little sleepy, a little worn out. Been doing a lot of work. As testament by the pile of bins behind Scott right now.
And the pile of bins next to Kevin.
Yes. Well, yes, that's a big empty pile of bins, and then there's the smaller bins also empty on top of the larger bins that we haven't opened yet.
You like saying the word bins.
We have lots of bins.
I think you need more.
No. Need to get rid of as many as possible. Please.
The problem is you don't really have... I guess maybe in the corner there you could start stacking them up in this little...
Yeah, well, one of the problems that I had
Max?
is that, no, not so much Max, as the workers still had to have access to the walls and everything on Friday to paint. So I needed to keep everything kind of in the center of the room, and now I can
where do they
shift
paint
stuff around.
On Friday? What else did they painting on Friday?
They painted all the walls here to give them all a second coat of paint.
Okay.
And I think they also did some work on the moldings. They also painted in the hallway.
So they still have to finish the base molding here.
They still have to finish the base molding there. And they have some other touch-ups to do in the office. And I think... And the only other thing after that, I believe, is the built-in closet for the master bedroom.
You mean the built-in unit?
Yeah, well, it's a closet. Oh, it's two closets on either side, and then a section in the middle that'll have a couple of cabinets, and then space for a TV on top.
Oh, so it's kind of be like a wardrobe they're building?
Sort of, but not. It's built in. It's a permanent. It's like a built-in part of the room.
So when you leave, it will stay. Well, if you leave.
Yeah. At some point we will leave. It's just a matter of when that will actually happen.
Well, the unit here...
Whether it's 10 years, 30 years, 50 years, we'll see.
It's a shame you couldn't take the wall unit you had with you.
Yeah, and actually that was kind of the original plan with that wall unit, although that wall unit would probably be too big to really be set up here properly for what we wanted. But the other issue is, because of how big the sections were of that, getting it up into the apartment scratched the shit out of the size of the different segments of it. But because those were two sides that basically just touched each other,
yeah,
and you never saw them. But if you were to take that unit apart, the sides of those units are scratched to hell. They look horrible.
It actually helps that apartment, though.
Oh yeah, it does.
That'll be a good selling feature for when your parents are around.
Oh yeah, because the amount of storage that those things created was invaluable, especially in that apartment.
That's one thing I'm definitely not lacking in my house.
Storage?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we certainly have plenty of storage here now, and after combining two closets in the front to make one big closet...
I don't know why there were two closets right there. That's just...
I think it was one was a storage closet and one was a coat closet. That was the original design. But we basically we looked at it and we said, okay, you have this space between these two doors. You can't do anything with it. It's basically dead space. Why not just box the whole area in and combine it and make it one huge closet? So that's what we did.
When did you guys close on this place? October?
September 28th.
So it's been about 6 months. Literally.
5 months. 5 months from closing to move in.
And when did you officially when did the original offer come in? Like, when did you originally...
We originally
like March
put in...
or April?
No, it was, I think... We saw the place, I think, right after Passover of last year.
So that'd be about April.
Yeah. So we saw it in April, and we put in an offer pretty quickly.
And then they pulled it off.
But the offer was... No, we put in an offer, then we negotiated, then we agreed on a price, then they pulled it off the market temporarily, then they came back to the negotiating table, effectively, and then it was just negotiating some terms of the contract at that point.
Yeah, I remember, like, the post-occupancy clause and stuff like that.
Oh, the post-occupancy thing was, was that part of the contract? I think it was. Yeah, there was all the discussion about post-occupancy, which I understand a lot of people do. It seems like it's actually pretty common. But as the buyer, you're taking on a significant risk there by doing that. So, honestly, my lawyer, strongly advised against doing it at all. So we basically pushed and we essentially tried to negotiate terms that would have made it ridiculous for them to even bother staying past any time period. And we just kept holding fast, because part of the problem was we kept trying to understand what their motivation was for all this, to say, look, let's find a solution here. Why do you guys want to, what are you looking for? What are you looking to get out of doing this? Because we've said many times, we can be flexible on closing. We'll close whenever you want. We're not in a rush. They had to close because they had to get their kids settled in a new school when the school year started. So we kept trying to find it, and every time we asked, it was like we got a different answer.
These people sound a little sketchy.
They might have been. I don't know. I mean, they seemed... Well, the husband didn't talk much at the closing at all. The wife seemed pretty pleasant.
Maybe he was the dick.
Maybe. I don't know. I know they have 2 kids who are older. One of them is in middle school, and the other one, I think, is a little bit young. I think the son was the older of the 2, and he's in middle school now. And the daughter... pretty sure was younger. It was just ironic that the son's name was Max.
It's coming back.
He lived in what is now my office.
Oh, Max isn't in Max's room?
No, Max is in the daughter. The daughter's room is now my Max's room.
Max has been living in a girl's room.
Yeah, so shit happens.
Just like this was such a focus of your life for the last year, basically.
Yeah, well, between hunting for an apartment, which we really, I had started doing it, almost from the moment Max was born, just looking at what was out there. But
that's when I figured out Riverdale.
That's when
you originally wanted Brooklyn.
I wanted Brooklyn, and then I discovered, we discovered that Riverdale had much more reasonable prices, and after looking into it, we said, you know what, this is actually a really nice area. So we decided to go
hopefully
for it.
Riverdale will really get up there. Like the Bronx, they're starting to gentrify the bottom, lots of parts of the Bronx.
Riverdale. The thing with Riverdale is that it's always been kind of up there, especially in particularly for the Bronx. But I mean, there are multi-million-dollar homes in the area that they call the estate area here, the area where a lot of old mansions were built when Riverdale was really the only people who could really get up here were rich people. Until they built the subway line and the highway. Once they built the subway line and the Henry Hudson Parkway up here, it was a lot easier for other people to get here. That's when the apartment buildings started coming up. Before that, it was all just mansions. They were like summer weekend homes for, like rich Upper East Siders. Coming up here for them was going to the country for the weekend.
That's funny. It's funny. Like I used to ask my mom, "Why did you always have to go to the Catskills for the summer?" She goes, "There was no air conditioning back then. You stay in the city in the summer without air conditioning."
Yeah. Yeah. I did that during the blackout of 2003. Wasn't fun.
She made a valid
That was
point.
just one night. No, it is a valid point. That is why people went to the Catskills, because it was cooler up there and it was nice and it was close by and it was inexpensive, and particularly for Jewish people, for our parents and grandparents, it was easy for them to get to, and there were a lot of there were some options that were more expensive than others, but there were a lot of options available. So there was a wide range of people who went up there.
The good old days.
Oh yeah.
I'm tired. It's late. This might be our
Yes, it
record
is.
for our latest podcast ever.
Possibly. Considering we never did one at midnight on New Year's.
No, we're lazy.
Yeah.
Trying to
But yeah, at least I have an excuse to be tired. Jesus.
I was up early today.
So was I.
I was out of the house by 8:30 this morning.
Okay, I can't say I was out of the house by, but we were out of the house at 9.
I was
up with a baby at 6. So
I was exercising my right as a constituent of a congressional district this morning.
fun. Why don't you tell our audience more about that? While I go get some water.
Oh, fill me up too.
And now we come to the bartending portion of our show.
Yeah, so since my card trick did not go over real well, I will tell everyone about my morning. So this morning I live in New Jersey Congressional District 7. And my congressman is a Republican who's in his 8th term. As many of you have been aware, Republican congressmen all over the country have been having town halls where they kind of are getting their asses handed to them. Is that a technical term? Sure, I'll go run with it. So I went there. I did not get to ask a question, but it was a very raucous crowd that was asking for answers from its elected official as to if he supports the actions of the Trump administration and what he'll do to say it. Basically, what it comes down to is no member of Congress will break party lines, is what it feels like. No matter what the president does, the Republican Party will stand with him, and that is where it's going with. I do feel the Democrats will probably do the same thing if it was the other way around, but the idiot in chief, as I've been calling him, is not going to be impeached. Though I think he's officially been in office longer than William Henry Harrison now.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I believe he has. Yay. Good job, Donald.
You didn't die in your first 30 days. And what he did yesterday was just ridiculous.
What did he do yesterday? Needless to say, I've been a bit out of touch.
So every day there's a press briefing in the White House press room with our with the quote with the very loquacious Sean Spicer.
The windbag in chief. Okay.
Yeah. Yesterday they decided to do a more informal meeting called a gaggle, where they go into like an office to do a little like non-televised session, and they barred CNN, the New York Times, the LA Times, Politico, and BuzzFeed from going into this meeting. The rest of the White House press corps wasn't allowed. The AP and USA Today refused to go in because they boycotted it because of that.
Okay. Good Lord.
So, Kev, what does the First Amendment of the United States say of the Constitution?
I believe there is lots of stuff in there about freedom of speech and freedom of press.
Ding, ding, ding. Tell him what he's won, Johnny. Kevin, you've won an all-expenses-paid trip to Riverdale, New York.
Oh, wait, I'm already here.
Oh, great.
All expenses are paid.
Sweet.
By my bank.
Yeah, so this is a grievous action. Limitation of the press is the first step of a fascist regime.
So they say, yes.
What are you doing, you...
I don't know. I was as I was listening to you, I hit Facebook by accident, and they're one of those high speed, like how to make some kind of random crap video. They're making what I can only describe as a giant strawberry shortcake, but instead of shortcake, they're using donuts.
Show
It was kind of fascinating.
Yeah, those were cool at first. Now they're kind of getting a little annoying.
Yeah, well, because I see them every day, and a lot of times they're repeats.
And multiple times per day of different things. My mom tried making one of those recipes and failed.
Oh, yes, I've heard this story. Failed miserably.
I believe that bad, but
I believe that was about a year ago. I don't know, the way you described it at the time. Yes, the way you described it at the time is it sounded like she failed miserably.
Yeah, she's done worse.
Okay.
My mom's not a good cook. Tell her I said so.
Hey, she also trapped her car in an ice bank, so what?
Good times. That was probably about 20 years ago. No, more than that.
Yeah, it was more than 20 years ago.
We were driving.
Yeah, basically. Oh, wait, no, we were driving. Good Lord.
It's probably about 23, 24 years ago.
Sounds about right. Good God, we're old.
I want to say it was like probably the winter of 95. Because that was just an awful winter.
I don't know, I feel like it was earlier than that. I would say 93, maybe.
You think before Wheels?
I think so.
'Cause
93 or 94.
Remember the Sweet 16 was the blizzard from hell.
Yeah. But I also remember the winter when we were in either 8th or 9th grade. And I forget. I think it was 9th grade. I think it was the winter.
That was 93, 94. That was the winter of 94.
Yeah. That was a
that was 93,
winter.
94, yeah.
I remember that.
That was the Nor'easter. It was 94. Nor'easter 94.
Okay. And I remember that being a particularly nasty winter because I remember having a lot of days off of school, but also having a lot of days where we were either sent home early or went in late.
Well, they used to do that a lot because they didn't have to give days back if they did that.
Right. I feel like they still do that because I still see it on.
I don't watch the news in the morning.
Yeah, on the morning news, I see those reports.
Did you see the Goldbergs about that, the snow day?
Yes, I did. That was pretty funny watching them listen to the radio.
I used to have the radio on and have channel 12 on it with a mute. That's how I would do it.
No, see, well, I didn't have a TV in my room to listen to channel 12, but
So
I would get up and just listen to the radio.
I'd have ALK on and
yeah, and you had to sit there and listen to them go through every school on Long Island.
Well, don't forget, you were worse than me. I was at the top. You were at the bottom.
Yeah, well, it all depends when you tune in too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you had to sit there and listen to them going through every letter of the alphabet and keep thinking like, okay, they're almost at me. It's like Smithtown, St. James, whatever the hell else they had. But it's like it took them forever just to get to
Three Village.
Kids to get to T's, yeah.
And then they'd skip it.
No, they didn't skip it. But it was often very annoying to listen to, Smithtown, Comswog, Port Jefferson, Mount Sinai, like every school district surrounding my area would all be closed. Three Village, 2-hour delayed opening.
We were one of the last ones to close. Well, it usually had to do with the bus companies.
I don't know. I just remember the Three Village just never closed when I was a kid, it felt like. And then there was always one time when, I think it was our senior year of high school.
Where they closed and nothing happened?
Yeah, they predicted this huge snowstorm, and the next morning, and all the schools closed.
The night before.
They announced that they were closing the night before, and the next morning everybody woke up and nothing happened.
Best snow day ever. Wake me up before you...
No, that was kind of the worst snow day ever. It's like, why are we here? Why are we home? That just means that the next time when it does snow, they're going to be that much more reluctant to close school.
When you used to stay home from school, like, not when you were really young, but as you got older, did you used to watch like all the daytime game shows?
I would watch some of the game shows.
It was like Classic Concentration, Price. I think the only one still in the air was Price is Right.
Quite possibly. Oh, Wheel of Fortune was on during the day for a while.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like they had like a daytime Wheel of Fortune and a primetime Wheel of Fortune.
I don't remember that. What is that?
It's just a scrap piece of Ethernet cable.
Oh, it looks like it looks like blue wax from here.
You look like blue wax. It's a Cat 6 cable. It's pretty stiff, so.
Let me see.
Don't beat up my table.
So the whole house is wired?
Everything except for the kitchen and bathrooms. Every room has one Ethernet port in it.
And you have a switch. You have a switch here. Or?
I don't have a switch there yet, but I'm going to put a switch there. I'll put a switch in there and my bedroom, and there's one in the office already, so that I can connect multiple items to the network.
I like the TV on the table. It works well.
Oh yeah, well, obviously it's a temporary measure, but yeah, it'll work just fine.
When do you think the wall unit will be built?
I don't know. I'm half thinking that they're going to end up building it while I'm away in Florida.
That would have been the end of the world.
Yeah.
Your dad will
because it's going to take him it's going to take him somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 weeks just to fabricate it, and then he's going to need a day or two to install it.
Does he fabricate it himself, or?
I don't know if he hires it out or he has a factory that does it. I don't really know exactly what he does. But he's done it for a number of other people. I've seen his work. It looks pretty good, so we decided to give it a shot.
I have faith. One thing is, like you said, is this place is not lacking natural light.
No, definitely not.
Do you have a light for that fixture yet, or?
No, not yet. That's another project. Finding a light. I think we found one that we both kind of liked, so we just have to pull the trigger on it. I don't feel that much of a need for one. First off, I mean, there's good airflow in here, but also think about it. The air conditioner is right there.
I don't know, but there might be days where you don't want the air conditioner on.
Well, then I just turn the air conditioner on fan mode.
Oh,
you can do that. Hell, even the unit that's 50 years old in my son's room has a fan option.
I almost think it's going to give him like lead poisoning.
No, it just uses a type of freon in the compressor system that's I believe has now been deemed illegal.
Is it really?
There's a different kind of freon that they used back then that allows it to blow much colder than most units nowadays. But I think it was banned by the EPA or something.
I mean, you don't
but it's a sealed system, so I don't care.
It's totally your mother-in-law with this.
No. She wouldn't even understand me.
Just don't piss me off, because otherwise she's going to find out certain things.
What?
Don't piss me off, or she will find out certain things.
Don't piss you off? What, are you trying to blackmail me?
Ooh. What do I want in this room? That's a nice walker.
What?
Just kidding.
Yes, needless to say, it's been a long week.
Back to work on Monday.
Back to work on Monday. Yay.
Back to being the ass man.
Yeah. You know what you do by going to work? Pay the bills.
Oh.
Ha ha ha.
That wasn't a bad segue.
Go to www.audibletrial.com/citizenho, where you can sign up for a free 30-day trial account and get a free audiobook download. There are thousands upon thousands of titles to choose from, such as...
Ladies and gentlemen, The Bronx is Burning.
Oh, ha ha ha.
1977, Baseball, Politics, and the Battle for the Soul of the City. Basically, it's talking about the summer of 77, which was the Son of Sam murders. Also the year the Yankees came back and won the World Series after 10
Well, after being swept the year before in the ALCS by the Royals.
And they hadn't won in quite a while.
Since 62, I think.
There's also a pretty good miniseries on ESPN a bunch of years ago.
Yes, which I have on DVD.
I should watch that again.
Yeah, it was a pretty good show. We liked.
It was what, like 6 episodes?
No, I think it was like 8 or 9. There was a lot.
Son of Sam.
Oh, yeah. Boykowitz.
So, what else is going on? The Razzies were awarded today.
The Razzies.
Yeah.
Anything I've actually seen?
Well, let's see. What was the last movie you saw in the theater?
Oh, God. Sad to say, I have to really think back on this one.
Civil War?
Probably. Yeah, I can't think of anything else that I've seen since then. So...
Let's see who won.
Dun 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 dun.
Hold on.
Dun.
Twit.
Who?
You Teutonic Twit. Have you seen Blazing Saddles?
Yeah. Why are you calling me a Teutonic Twit?
Because you are. Okay, here are the nominees, and then you're going to guess who won.
Okay.
Batman v Superman, Dirty Grandpa, Gods of Egypt, Hillary's America, Independence Day 2, or Zoolander 2?
Wait, what's the category?
Worst Picture.
I feel like you told me this, so I'll say Batman vs. Superman.
The correct answer is Hillary's America.
Oh.
Worst Actor, Ben Affleck's Batman Superman, Gerard Butler, Gods of Egypt, and London Has Fallen. Henry Cavill, Batman Superman, Robert De Niro, Dirty Grandpa, Ben Stiller, Zoolander 2, or Dinesh D'Souza as himself in Hillary's America. Who's your guess?
I don't know. That's a tough one. Ben Affleck.
Dinesh D'Souza.
No.
Worst
What, did he
Actress.
sweep it?
Megan Fox, TMNT 2. Tyler Perry, Boo, Medea Halloween. Julia Roberts, Mother's Day. Becky Turner as Hillary Clinton, Hillary's America. Naomi Watts, Divergent Series Allegiant and Shut-In. Shailene Woodley, Divergent Series Allegiant.
Megan Fox.
Becky Turner, Hillary's America. Worst Supporting Actress. Julianne Hough, Dirty Grandpa. Kate Hudson, Mother's Day. Aubrey Plaza, Dirty Grandpa. Jane Seymour, 50 Shades of Black. Sheila Ward, Independence Day 2, and Kristen Wiig, Zoolander 2.
Kristen Wiig, Zoolander 2.
Hey, you finally got one!
Yay.
Worst Supporting Actor. Nicolas Cage, Snowden. Johnny Depp, Alice 2. Will Ferrell, Zoolander 2. Jesse Eisenberg, Batman Superman. Jared Leto, Suicide Squad. And Owen Wilson, Zoolander 2.
Owen Wilson, Zoolander 2.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Go.
Worst on-screen combo. Ben Affleck and his BFF, baddest foe forever, Henry Cavill, Batman Superman. Any two Egyptians, gods or mortals, Gods of Egypt. Johnny Depp in his vomitlessly vibrant costume, Alice 2. The entire cast of once respected actors, Collateral Beauty. Tyler Perry in that same old worn-out wig, Boo, Medea Halloween. Ben Stiller and his BFF, barely funny friend, Owen Wilson, Zoolander 2.
Owen Wilson.
Ben Affleck and his BFF, Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Worst Director, Dinesh D'Souza and Bruce Schooley, Hillary's America. Roland Emmerich, Independence Day 2. Tyler Perry, Boo, Medea Halloween. Alex Proyas, Gods of Egypt. Zack Snyder, Batman Superman, and Ben Stiller, Zoolander 2.
What was the first one from Zoolander 2 in that?
Ben Stiller?
No. Shit.
It's the director.
Earlier. Dinesh D'Souza.
Yeah, you finally got one right.
Okay, that's 2.
Worst prequel, remake, ripoff, or sequel? Alice Through the Looking Glass, Batman Superman, 50 Shades of Black, Independence Day Resurgence, TMNT 2, Zoolander 2.
TMNT 2.
Batman Superman.
Damn.
Worst screenplay, Batman Superman, Dirty Grandpa, Gods of Egypt, Hillary's America, Independence Day 2, or Suicide Squad.
Hillary's America.
Batman Superman.
Oh well.
So Hillary's America only got a 4% Rotten Tomatoes. And the Razzie Redeemer Award went to Mel the Racist Gibson, 2014
Okay.
Worst Supporting Actor nominee for his Oscar-nominated direction of Hacksaw Ridge.
Fun.
So those were the Razzies. And while we're on the topic of movies,
We don't know shit about movies. We should get a Razzie for that.
if I had a nickel for all the stuff you don't know shit about, I'd have a shit ton of nickels.
You'd be broke. Come on,
Dude,
write it up.
Kevin
Let's
Fellow.
go. Okay. So we start off this week with Collide, starring Felicity Jones, Anthony Hopkins, Ben Kingsley, and Christian Rubeck. After a heist goes terribly wrong, Casey Stein, Nicholas Holt, finds himself on the run from a ruthless gang headed by mob boss Hagen, Anthony Hopkins. Now,
There's no yawning here.
pardon. Now Casey has precious cargo that belongs to Hagen, who will stop at nothing to retrieve it. Left with no choice, Casey calls his former employer and drug smuggler Garan, Ben Kingsley, to protect his longtime girlfriend Juliet. Oh, excuse me. Juliet, before Hagen gets his hands on her. Casey sets out on an adrenaline-fueled car chase on German highways to save the love of his life before it's too late. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, right.
Yes, agreed.
Get Out. Bradley Whitford, Catherine Keener, Allison Williams, Daniel Kaluuya. Now that Chris, Daniel Kaluuya, and his girlfriend Rose, Allison Williams, have reached the meet the parents' milestone of dating, she invites him for a weekend getaway upstate with Missy, Catherine Keener, and Dean, Bradley Whitford. At first, Chris reads the family's overtly accommodating behavior as nervous attempts to deal with their daughter's interracial relationship, but as the weekend progresses, a series of increasingly disturbing discoveries lead him to a truth that he could never have imagined.
Ooh. Yeah, still rotten.
Actually going fresh on this one.
Really?
Yep.
Based on what?
I actually saw an interview with the writer, and it actually kind of looked interesting.
Okay.
It's, what's his name? The guy from Key and Peele. Jordan Peele.
Oh. Okay. Sure. Whatever. Okay, so next we have Rock Dog.
Rock Lobster.
Starring Luke Wilson, Eddie Izzard, J.K. Simmons, and Louis Black. When a radio falls from the sky into the hands of a wide-eyed Tibetan Mastiff who leaves home to fulfill his dream of becoming a musician, setting them on to maintain a series of completely unexpected events.
Huh? Yeah, I don't get it. Rock.
Yeah, me either. Rotten.
Winter Harvest. Max Kane, Samantha Barks, Barry Pepper, and Tara Stamp.
And by Max Kane, you mean Max Irons.
Yudi, Max Irons, is a young Ukrainian living in a contented life in his country village of Smila.
Smila.
Unlike his warrior father, Yaroslav, Barry Pepper, and notorious grandfather Ivan, Terran Stamp, Yudi is a talented artist, blissfully in love with his childhood sweetheart, Natalka, Samantha Barks. Unaware of the burgeoning Soviet Union and political dangers facing the people of Ukraine, Ukraine is not weak. Following the death of Soviet leader Vladimir Putin, tyrant Joseph Stalin senses retaliation and declares his merciless intention to enforce his predecessor's system of collectivization, thus starving Ukrainians into submission. Led by the ruthless Sergei, a band of Bolshevik soldiers are sent to Smila to enforce the man-made famine. Yaroslav and Ivan heroically defend the village but are powerless against the Bolshevik army. After Yaroslav is brutally hung, isn't it hanged when you're hung?
Yeah, it is hanged. Anyway.
The injured Ivan seeks vengeance, but struggles to come to terms with loss of his warrior son and the pacifism of his grandson Yudi. The Bolsheviks' oppressive regime has become the Holodomor, Stalin's deliberately engineered genocidal famine. Will Yudi and Natalka's love survive the Holodomor as they set out on one last quest for freedom? Anti-Russian. In this government, I feel like we can't go wrong on it.
Yeah, maybe not.
Let's go fresh.
Sure.
We still do our Russian overlords.
Okay, next we have Drifter, starring Drew Harwood, Aria Emery, James McCabe, and Monique Rosario. A pair of outlaw brothers, Harwood and Emery, seek temporary refuge in a desolate town inherited by a family of psychotic cannibalistic lunatics.
Where do they come up with this
Okay,
shit?
I don't know, but I say rotten.
Me too. Dying Laughing. Chris Rock, Jerry Seinfeld, Amy Schumer, Kevin Hart. A feature-length documentary on the agony and ecstasy of making people laugh. A stand-up comedian must be the writer, the director, and the star performer. And in stand-up, there is no rehearsal. No practice, no safety net, as it only works in front of a live audience, with feedback being instantaneous and often brutal. Documentary credit.
Yeah,
I actually kind of want to see that.
That actually does seem quite interesting. All right, next we have Kiki, starring Chichi Mizrahi, Gia Marie Love, Devo Pink Lady, and Twiggy Poochie Garçon.
What the fuck?
I don't know. Documentary on New York City's vibrant underground ballroom scene fueled by young LGBTQ people staging elaborate dance competitions.
I feel like we can't go rotten on this one. Documentary cred.
Oh, yeah. Docu-cred. All right.
My Life as a Zucchini.
Oh.
Gaspard Schlatter, 16 Murat, Pauline Jacoud, Michel Villemose. After his mother's sudden death, Zucchini is befriended by a police officer, Raymond, who accompanies him to his new foster home, filled with other orphans at his age. At first he struggles to find his place in this at times strange and hostile environment, but with Raymond's help and his newfound friends, Zucchini eventually learns to trust and love as he searches for a new family of his own. Foreign animated cred?
Yeah, I'll go with that. All right, so lastly we have Contemporary Color.
No, you skipped one.
I did?
The Girl with All the Gifts.
Oh, my bad. Okay, so we have The Girl with All the Gifts, starring Gemma Arterton, Glenn Close, Patty Considine, and Semyon Nanua. Set in a dystopian world where a seemingly normal and very intelligent little girl lives in an underground army bunker with other children her age. They are all experimental cases being examined by scientists led by Dr. Caldwell, Glenn Close, to find a cure for a fungal spore that has infected the planet.
Yeah, Rod.
Yep.
Contemporary Color. In the summer of 2015, legendary musician David Byrne staged an event at Brooklyn's Barclays Center to celebrate the art of the color guard. Synchronized dance routines involving flags, rifles, and sabers. Your sister involved in that? She was working there then.
Yeah.
Documentary cred. Fresh. You agree?
Yeah, I'll go documentary cred.
Watch, we turn the movie on, you see your sister on there.
Yeah, right. No, I think she would have known if about something like that. All right, come on to Flickster.
Get Out, 100%.
Ooh.
Collide, Rodden. Rock Dog, Rodden. The Girl with All the Gifts, Fresh. My Life is Zucchini, 100% fresh.
Damn.
Bitter Harvest, Rodden. As You Are, do we have? No. Dying Laughing, 80% fresh.
Okay.
Time to start searching. Drifter. With 50% Rodden. Kiki. Fresh, 75%. And Contemporary Color. 88% fresh.
Okay.
Okay, so let's do some housekeeping because it's late. We're going to make this a short one.
Yeah.
Find us online, facebook.com/CitizenHo. Tweet us at CitizenHoPod. Instagram at CitizenHoPod. Like us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. Download, share with your friends. Like us and write reviews. Rate us on those three. It's really important. It helps us get sponsors to keep this content coming to you for free.
Yes, you want the free funny, don't you?
You don't want Max to have to go to public college, do you?
Ooh.
So, for Citizen Ho, I'm Scott.
I'm Kevin.
And be excellent to each other.
Bye-bye.
Station.